See, it's good to always talk about the beautiful side of reselling, but once in a while, we also have to keep an eye on the bad side of reselling. This packet right here is a customer return, was sent back to me just a few days ago. I did make a picture of me shipping out this PC. It was a responsible PC, a HP compact small form factor PC, sent out in good faith to the buyer. I wouldn't know for one reason or the other. Buyer comes around, goes on to initiate a return request on eBay. Of course, like I always say, I have absolutely no reason not to accept customer returns, but this is something that you have to be aware of. Understand that yes, you can actually make a lot of sales selling different items on eBay, laptops, computers, small form factor PCs, desktop PCs, phones, tablets, name it. Everything is possible on the platform. As a matter of fact, it is actually easy to sell this stuff because eBay, as it were, kind of does the heavy lifting for you. All you have to do is to list up your items, and eBay is going to take over, try to show your items to as many people as is possible, and the item is definitely going to sell. Yes, it is a beautiful thing to have an item sell because each time you hear the sold item sound on eBay, it's always a very, very beautiful feeling. But then sometimes that is not the end of the deal. And this is one aspect that I am going to try to focus on in the coming videos. Yes, there is a thing called buyer returns. And sometimes for no reason under the sun, somebody that just bought your item might feel dissatisfied with the item. And sometimes this is not even a fault that directly, connects back to you. You've done your job. You've done everything possible. But for one reason or the other, the buyer decides that, look, I don't want to keep this item, and there is nothing you as a seller can do about it. You are kind of, expected to take in the return. It doesn't matter when it's returned, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. This is something, kind of a seller responsibility, something you are required to actually do. I've seen people talking about the fact that, yes, if I sell as a private seller, I do not need to accept returns. I can just go ahead and put on my offers. This is a private sale. I do not accept returns. I'm telling you for real. Guys, if a buyer really wants to send back your item, there are 1,001 reasons that is on for the item to be sent back. And eBay definitely also makes it clear that, look, this is a platform that respects the wishes of the buyer. And if a buyer decides that, look, I do not want this item, there is pretty much nothing you can do as a seller but to accept the return and then go ahead and refund the buyer. This is what it is. Anybody telling you otherwise is pretty much lying to you. But luckily for me, this PC has been returned in a very, very good condition, and this is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and relist it. It could be worse, guys. I'm telling you, it could be pretty much worse because so far so good. I have opened it. I do not see anything that kind of look out of the ordinary. Lucky enough, the buyer actually did use the original box in which I used in sending out the item, which pretty much makes things easy. I have seen situations where people use all manner of boxes just to return your items, and that sometimes could be very, very disgusting because the item comes back pretty much broken. Nothing you can do about it. You might try to go ahead and make claims on eBay. Of course, it might be a very long process, but you might be lucky in the end to get some refund. I have not tried it myself, so I wouldn't know how exactly it works. But truth be said, it could be worse. And for this PC right here, luckily for me, everything still looks very good. Everything is still standing. I am going to go ahead and sell it again, still on this platform. Of course, it's a lot of hassle to do this, but good enough. The PC is still looking in very good condition. Of course, if it were broken, it would have been a different discussion. I'm going to be losing money here and there, perhaps 20 euros on these transactions. But luckily enough, my original capital is not going to be lost. The profit might just be eroded, but this is something that you need to be aware of can happen if you set out, to sell you stuff on the internet. It's not all a bed of roses. Sometimes you have to win some, and sometimes you have to lose some. Let's see you again in the next one. Peace.